Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. I thought that we would do our morning live this morning with talking about sort of something that was kind of a continued discussion from last night. Last night we were talking about Infusible Ink transfer sheets and the topic of the Infusible Ink pens and markers came up. So I wanted to show you how the Cricut Joy does both pens and the Infusible Ink pens because it's really kind of special. So I hope that you can join me today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and definitely feel free to comment or like or do anything like that. Apparently that really helps with getting more people to see the video. So without further ado, I will show you what I'm doing. I am actually using the Cricut Joy right now with an Infusible Ink pen. And what I do to use the ink pen is you have to take out this housing and the... Yeah, you absolutely. Kimberly is asking, do you know if we can use HTV with the Cricut Joy? And you absolutely can, because HTV is just another name. HTV, for people who don't know what that is heat transfer vinyl, or in Cricut terms, it's iron-on. So HTV and iron-on are one and the same. And yes, you can do your own HTV or your own iron-on in the Cricut Joy. It will need to be cut to fit on the mat. But other than that, it's good to go. You cut it on the mat, and I can even show you how you select it as a cut material as well. So yes, the great thing about this Joy is that even though it does have a lot of compatible products, most of the products you already own, if you are already a Cricuteer, you might already own a bunch of vinyl, paper, what else? Iron-on, all different kinds of iron-on. You're welcome, Kimberly. They all can be used in the Cricut Joy. The only difference is that some of the products developed just for the Joy, including the iron-on and the vinyl, have what it's called smart vinyl or smart iron-on, and that allows it to go into the machine without a mat. So during the process that you're, when you're, loading the project into the machine, it's just a matter of you have to choose with mat or without mat. And when you choose with mat, you get way more more materials to choose from. You know what I mean? So, you are okay. And Brenda's saying she's getting so excited to get a Joy. And I was thinking last night, I'm like, only like 7 more sleeps till the launch of the Joy. And just so that you know, it will be launched both on Cricut.com and on, at stores. And so if you are one of those people that just have to get your hands on it, you can go to Cricut.com, and actually I have a special link that you can use, and that helps me, supports me. And sometimes, when you use my link, you can sometimes use my code, but with machines you cannot. You don't get the discount. You probably get free shipping because it'll be over $100, but so keep in mind to use my link if you want to support me. It's a great way to support me without having to shell out any money for it. So, but yeah, oh my gosh, like less than a week now, I think, or 1 week exactly before the Cricut Joy is launched everywhere, and at Cricut.com as well. So pretty excited. I've been given this machine, about 10 days ago, I was given this machine. because I am what's called a Cricut product expert. It's a program. It's been for years they've had this program, but there's just like a handful of people throughout the country and in Canada that they selected years ago to help them with promoting products. We're not employees of Cricut. We are like kind of like what they would call like a brand ambassador. I don't get paid, like I'm not a paid employee of Cricut. And so pretty much my opinions and my thoughts are my own. They do send me products from new releases and things like that, but it's not like they're saying, here's this much money and will you promote our new product. So for me, I did get this for free, just so you know. I did get this for free to promote it, but the decision to promote it as heavily as I have been promoting it is my own. And it's because I am just so entranced by this machine. At first, when I saw it, I have to say, I was like, I don't need another machine. I really don't. I have a maker. I have 2 Air Explorer 2s. I have a regular Air, the Air 1, Explorer 1. I have, what else do I have? I have the original Explorer in that green, that light green. I have enough machines, plus I have the EasyPress and whatever. So I thought, I'm not going to need another machine. I work in a very dedicated craft room. I have a craft studio. It's in the front of my house. Very nice. It's got beautiful sun and everything like that. But what I was finding was, as a house person, I stay in my house, I work from my house, and I'm also a mom, and I'm a mom to a lot of fur babies as well. You can hear them in the background sometimes. I felt like kind of a pull from, I want to be in my craft room and I want to craft, but I need to be able to go in the kitchen, let the dogs out, feed them, get my kid off to school and do all of that stuff. And so I always felt like, I want to go craft, and sometimes it would be very frustrated, like, oh my God, I gotta get in my craft room. And I also had trouble getting, into the transition. So in the morning, you get up, what do you do in the morning? Like, I get up, I feed the animals, let them out, let them in, let them out, let them in, right? I feed all my guinea pigs, to have my coffee, shower, and all that stuff. And I was having a hard time getting to my craft room so that I can do things like this kind of live conversation. And so I would end up, I didn't get started till noon or something like that. And it became a little bit like I'm behind the 8 ball on it. So I have found that this Joy has allowed me to do all kinds of crafting in my kitchen while I am taking care of my family, and also allows me to do these videos, a lot more videos that so it's gotten a lot more people to know what the Joy is and get to know who I am. So okay, I'm talking a lot, but I wanted to show you what this did. And actually, I made the image too big. You see it wrote here. But this is an Infusible Ink pen drawing, and it's done simply on regular paper, like copy paper, good quality, not the cheapy kind that's like kind of pulpy, but it's regular paper done with the Infusible Ink, right? And in this particular case, I didn't have to mirror, but it's a good idea to get in the habit of mirroring with Infusible Ink or iron-on, because if you had letters or something, it would cause a problem. But so this could either be done, in a colored ink or this black ink. You can color it in. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. Or you can leave it like that. Some people like that sort of line drawing kind of thing. And this is infusible ink, which means that I can then, once I get it all colored in or the way that I want it to be, I then turn it over like this and put it on a blank, and it will actually go, the ink will actually go into whatever the blank is, right? And last night we did this. This is infusible ink. There's two kinds of infusible ink. There's the transfer sheets. That's what this is. Very colorful. There's a lot of choices. And here's the green one we did last night, and this is what I did yesterday. This is done with a transfer sheet, okay? An infusible ink transfer sheet, but you can also use what's called infusible ink pens or markers, and that's what these are. Okay, so this one here, the difference between this and this is the size of the marker, 1.0 and 0.4. 0.4 is probably the smallest you'll find a marker in, and then it goes up. So it goes 0.4, 0.5, and then it usually skips to like 0.8, and then it usually goes to 1.0, and it can go up to like 2.5. I've seen pens go up to 2.5. So it's just the size, the millimeters of the size of the very tip of the pen. That's what that number stands for. So you can see this is a 0.4, and it's a very, very fine tip. Okay. Now, the Joy, because of the size of the blade housing. Let me show you what the blade housing, I know I showed you at the very beginning, but because of the size, the blade housing is smaller. The clamp itself is smaller, so the pens themselves have to be smaller, which means the pens that you may already own, and the blade and housings that you already own with an other machine are not put into the Joy. They don't fit. Okay, so in the issue of interchangeability, that's something that is not interchangeable. You can use your materials, most of your materials that you already own, but you can't interchange the blade or the pens. Luckily, and I have to say this, I've been using this Joy nonstop. I mean, really for almost 2 weeks. And the blade has not dulled. I mean, I have put it through all kinds of paces, and it just has not dulled. So I think it's just like with our other machines that they are that the blades are really good. Way back when we had the Expression 2, boy, the blades were, they always would just kind of break down, and it was just really a pain. So anyway, I think the blades are really good for this machine, but time will tell, of course. And let's see, I wanted to show you this. I love this. I think this is beautiful. And so I wanted to show you how this works on the Joy. This is a line drawing, and by the way, if you're looking for drawn images, when you go to image search, this is what I have here. If you go to cartridges and you type in here, you type in the word draw or drawn, you get all of these wonderful, and these are already in Design Space, so you don't have to wait. If you want to do these on your other machine, you can certainly do them, and almost all of these are Cricut Access. See this A on the side? That means it's Cricut Access, okay? And so there's a ton here. Halloween and hobby, music instruments, mythical creatures, New Year's, people, animals, Scandinavian folk art. Ooh, that's beautiful. I didn't see that one. And then I found this seashell one, you see? And then there are even ones that are like drawn in, like filled in with the pen. That's the thing about the pens is they don't fill in with color. Okay, so even if you had letters and you did the drawing with the pen, they're not going to fill in. There's only like 1 or 2 fonts that do the filling in of the letters, and it's kind of a squiggly thing. So just be aware of that. Whereas if you were cutting from the transfer sheets, obviously the color that you were cutting from, it would fill in those letters. Okay. So let's do this. Let's make this this pearl shell with the pearl in it, open shell with the pearl, because I think it's really pretty. So let's do that for good morning, Felicia. Oh, lovely. Nice to see you. You made your first 2 shirts for gifts last night with Infusible Ink. Melissa, that's great. Melissa's saying that she made 2 shirts for gifts last night using Infusible Ink transfer sheets. That is so awesome. You should definitely post pictures. Love to see them. I love to see them. Okay, so we're going to be doing Infusible Ink markers. We're going to do this shell. And so I have made it. So now the thing about the Joy is that the image, one of the measurements, whether it's the height or the width, one of them cannot exceed the 4.25, okay? Because 4.25 is as wide as it will go on the mat, or not on the mat as well. So the images have to be 4.25. And actually what I did here was I took a piece of copy paper and I cut it in half the long way, and so it actually doesn't even actually go all the way to the 4.5 of the mat. So I made sure that, look down here, this is where you check. First of all, it's draw, so you could change that to say cut if you wanted to, but we want it to be on draw. And you can also choose different color ink. That's okay too. And then as far as the size down here, you notice that the width is almost 4 inches. Whoops, let's just show you that again. The width is 4 inches by 4 inches. So it's kind of roughly the same height as it is wide. So just so you know that. And then we hit make it. Right? And here's where we have to choose. Do we want it on a mat or without a mat? And then we also have the third choice of on the card mat, which is for the pre-folded cards, which I showed you earlier in the week. But that's not what we're doing right now. So we have to have a choice between without the mat, on mat, or on the card mat. So because this is not a smart material, we're going to choose on mat. Okay, and there it is on the mat, and you see it's actually on the small mat, but I'm going to use the 12-inch one. I haven't seen any problem with that. So now normally this is the place where you would mirror your image, and just so you can see what that is about, you hit that little thing that looks like a mat, and you can mirror it here. In this case, it doesn't really matter because it's kind of symmetrical, but it's good to get in that habit. Okay, and then we hit continue, and then we have to choose the material that we're going to use. Now this is where I wanted to show you. So anything on the mat, these are all the selections you have. If you're going to be using the Joy on the mat, you can use cardboard, you can use cardstock, all of these different iron-ons. Now, some people use not Cricut iron-on, so what you have to do is kind of choose the iron-on that is similar to the Cricut version. So in this case, like if you had HTV, that was from Caesar or something. I don't know all the other brands, but if it was like a glitter or holographic iron-on, you know, you would make your choice here, which one it is. And then also here, also smart iron-on as well. There's faux leather, but only the thin, paper thin leather. And then here is all the paper adhesive deluxe. We showed that before. And then here's all the vinyl. Look at all the vinyl. So there's all different kinds. And then party foil and window cling, also cut here. I haven't cut them yet, but in this case, it kind of doesn't matter for cutting because we're just going to be using the blade. I'm sorry, the pen, excuse me, not the blade. So what we're going to do now is I am going to load the pen into the clamp and then load the material into the machine. And then once I have done that, then I can set the machine to go. Okay. So I'm using Infusible Ink pen. I'm going to use in the 0.4 in black because I want it in an outline. And 0.4 is the smallest. So I've got my compatible with the Cricut Joy, and I know that because it says it here. And I have to take out the housing, the blade and the blade housing. And I just do that by, you know, flipping open that clamp and then taking it out, putting it aside. And I take and uncap my pin and I just pop it in there. I don't have to push it, hold it, or anything like that. If you have another machine, you've been told probably you have to hold the bottom of the clamp and push it in until it clicks. It's not that way with the Joy. It's just simply just pop it in and then close the clamp. Okay, and then I'm going to load my paper. This is just plain, like I said, it's just plain copy paper that I cut in half. And I put on the mat. And so I'm just going to slide it underneath those roller guides. See? And it actually takes it in and sort of surveys it and says, okay, yeah, you have enough material in there. And that's particularly good for like the long cuts, so you don't get started on a long cut and halfway through you run out of material. So it's kind of like it's a safety measure for you. And then from the app, because there are no buttons on this machine, so there's nothing to, you know, load, unload, start, or anything. That has all been removed and placed in the app. So then we're just going to hit go, and it will prepare it, and then it will start writing this image, and it's going to do it sideways, I believe. Oh, no, maybe not. No, it's not going to do sideways because of the size. So it will just go ahead and draw out this, and it's pretty quick. I think it's pretty quick. And what you end up with is something like this, which you can then go back and take these are called freehand markers. These do not fit in any of the machines. They're freehand. So you can take the freehand markers and you can go and fill in if you wanted to. This is particularly good if you did something like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I love these colors. So you can just fill in letters or fill in your drawing, or maybe have your grandchild do it if you had something and they can just fill it, just like coloring, really. Let's see, do I have any of these open? I can't find my other ones that I had opened. Let's open these so we can have a look. This one's a brush tip. So let's have an open and look at these. All right, so I'll just take out a couple here. So this is a freehand marker. Again, they don't fit in any of the machines. And you can tell because the barrel is a little slightly wider, okay? And in this case, it's a brush tip. So that's what it looks like. So if we wanted to go and color, for instance, if we wanted to color this that we already did, this is what you would do, just kind of color it. Now, the color comes out very muted color, but it will look much brighter when we apply the heat from the press. Okay, so the color will actually come out looking more like this than it does when you're just writing on that paper. And I don't know if you want to be very, very careful or not, but this is how you do it. And, you know, like this. And then when we go and turn around and put it on Infusible Ink compatible blank, it will transfer, right? It will transfer just like that. I think, and you'll see that green. And you can obviously, you're going to be much more diligent about doing it, you know, beautifully and correctly and within the lines. I don't color within the lines, I guess. So anyway, so that's how the freehand brush markers work. And don't be concerned if the color comes out looking kind of muted, because it will get brighter when you use the press. And I'm going to show you. Okay, so I guess while we're waiting for this to finish up, what we'll do is we will turn on our EasyPress, the Mini. I have the Mini right here, and I don't know if you're familiar with this Mini, but it has like 3 little marks, so it's like low, medium, high. And I know with Infusible Ink that I need to have a high temperature, so I turn it on and I let it heat up, and it actually only takes like a minute or so to heat up all the way. So I'm just going to turn that on while we're waiting, and you'll hear it beep. If my dogs are quiet, you'll hear it beep when it's ready. If you want to find out how to use any of the presses, I would definitely recommend something called the Cricut Heat Guide, which you can find online. Here it is. And it allows you to choose, you know, which press. Is it the Mini, the EasyPress 2, or the original? And then you choose the material that you're going to be pressing. So in this case, we're going to use Infusible Ink pen or markers. And then the base material will do, I think we'll do a baby bodysuit. I think I'll just use that baby bodysuit that I had from last night. Okay, and so what I get here is that I have to preheat for 5 seconds. I have to preheat the area, and then I have to have my Mini on high, which is those 3 squiggly lines, and I have to do it for 75 seconds. And over here on the right hand side is like a little map or diagram of how you should set up for the Infusible Ink, you know, how you should get it all set up so that it will work properly. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is that when you buy the markers, you don't get butcher paper, and they do ask that you put the butcher paper in there. I have not tried it without butcher paper because I always use the paper that I got in a box of the transfer sheets. So if anybody's tried it without butcher paper, let me know. And I'm happy to find out how that works. So while we're waiting for this to finish up, it sounds like it's finishing up. I'm just going to get my little baby bot. Oh, but look at my friend's back. Frankie. Frankie's back. Hi, Frank. He's like, what? This is where he eats. So I don't know. He just does seem to like that I'm talking too. So I think that's what's attracting him to our little chats, to our little party here. So let's see. So we're just waiting for this to finish up. Let's see where it's at. it looks like it's almost done, which is pretty cool. And for the sake of this demonstration, I won't fill it in with the freehand markers because I want to see what it looks like, just like the outline of it. I think that's going to look pretty cool. So I want to see how that looks. And I've set up the baby onesie. I guess we'll put it here, and it's on the mat, and with the paper underneath it. And I have the butcher paper at the ready. So when it is done, almost done. Thank you for your patience. And I know it's almost done because of that circle. It shows, it's kind of like a clock face, and it's showing almost done, which is kind of cool. And you can see it's just doing a bang up job of writing this beautiful seashell, or what is that, an oyster? I don't know, an oyster maybe with a pearl inside. Can you use any shirt? So Felicia's asking if you can use any shirt. Well, actually, you can use, they do make what's called Cricut compatible or Infusible Ink compatible shirts. Those are 100% polyester. However, since Infusible Ink launched, there have been people who have tried different kinds of blanks. And what they've found out is the blanks have to be, I think, at least 60% polyester for it to work. Now, excuse me, if you use less than 60% polyester, apparently it might show that it worked. Like, you might have initial results that are good, but then when you go to wash it, it washes out. It doesn't take. So if you're going to use any shirt, like if you want a long sleeve shirt and they don't have long sleeve shirts, or something, different about what you want to do than what they have for the blanks, you just need to make sure that it's got a high polyester thread count, or thread. It's a lot of polyester. So this will not work on, say, those 100% cotton shirts that you get at Michael's. It will not work. So it might initially work, but when you go to wash it, it'll probably just all wash out. Anyway, that's what I've heard. I've actually never tried it on anything else, but I'm a stick by the rules kind of gal. So, if you're a renegade, if you're a maverick and you want to try it on something else, please report back here. I'd love to know how it worked out for you, because I really, I'm a stick by the rules kind of person. Okay, so here is our completed drawn image, right? And it's all done. I just trimmed it up a little bit so that it would fit nice on my baby bodysuit. And what you're going to do is you're going to turn that over. Okay, so the drawn part is going to be touching the actual fabric, right? And just move this thing on the bottom, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Is this where I want it to be? And sure. So before I actually do the transfer, I have to heat up the area. So I'm going to do that with it's already heated up. I'm going to do that with my very hot, I shouldn't say warm, very hot mini iron, EasyPress. It's kind of deceiving because it looks like an iron, but it is super hot. Oh my gosh, I burnt myself the first time when I was using it. I am not very elegant about things sometimes. So, okay, so then I'm going to take it and I put it, the actual drawn side down where I want it to be. And you can use that heat resistant tape if you're concerned about, it moving a little bit. And I've used that in the past, but in this case, because I'm kind of just sitting here, I think that I don't need the tape. And then I'm going to put my butcher paper on top, and I am ready to transfer this pretty shell. When you're using the mini, you can move it around And plus the actual image underneath is bigger than the surface of the Mini. So you do want to move it around because you want the entire part of the design to get onto the bodysuit, right? So I'm just moving it around. It says on the heat guide that I should do this for 75 seconds. And so I'm like kind of looking at the clock and just as I'm talking, noticing, where I am. And I want to make sure I do move it around so I get all parts of that design transferred. Okay. And another minute. Oh, well, no, not a minute. Another few seconds. Okay, I think that might be done. You can, if you're very, very careful about it, you can sort of peek and see if it worked, to see if it worked in the areas. You can sort of peek, but you have to be very, very careful that you don't lift and move the design, or else it will do something called ghosting. And you don't want that. Ghosting, it looks like a shadow. It looks like offset, really, if anybody knows what offset is. Okay, so let's have a peek. Ta-da! There it is. Isn't that awesome? Does everybody see that? I mean, that to me is so cool. Oh my gosh, I just love it. And I'm going to show it to you up close. Let me know if you like it. Give me a little thumbs up or heart or something if you do like it, because I like it. I think it's awesome. Let's see. So it is really on there good, and it's completely dry. It's not like you have to worry about it being too hot or anything like that. You can wash it as is. You could wash it right now, and this transfer will stay on and on and on. And here, let me show you. It doesn't lift. I don't know if anybody's ever used regular iron-on. Sometimes it can crack or lift at the edges. Not this. This is the this is that Infusible ink. It really is infused into the fabric. And so, just as an example, this is the Infusible ink transfer sheets, and this is the Infusible ink pen. And both on the same thing so you can see it. I really love this. I think it's beautiful. Don't you? Oh, really pretty. Excuse me. Didn't mean to sneeze. So that is how you do Infusible ink pens. And you can use your Cricut Joy to do that. But also remember, you could also do this if you have another machine. You could also do it on that machine, whether it's an Explorer or a Maker, any kind of Explorer machine. It all works fine. This is our transfer that we've done. Usually you'll see it gets kind of lighter, but this one actually looks still pretty good. And I might be able to get one more transfer out of that, but I wouldn't recommend that. I think it's just kind of 1-to-1. But really fun, and the results are very professional, in my opinion. It does not look handmade. It really just does not look handmade, nor does this, and it will last and last and last. So yeah, yay. Okay. So, I feel like I'm going to sneeze again. So I apologize in advance, but that is Infusible ink pens, both the freehand pens and also the ones that go in the Cricut Joy, but there's also ones that go in your regular machine as well. Let's see, and also how to use the Mini and how to use the Cricut Joy. So this is something that when we were talking last night came up. My friend Tara from Canada said, can I use the pens? How do the pens work, kind of thing. So I wanted to sort of circle back and show you how they work. So I hope you have enjoyed this. Know that I'm going to be posting this video onto my YouTube page and also on Facebook. And then on YouTube, if you follow me on YouTube, make sure that you're going and watching a video and commenting on it, because I'm going to be choosing several winners tonight for our Infusible Ink prize pack. We have a prize pack, and we do these giveaways every month. This month, it's Infusible Ink prize pack. They're worth $50, and you get an Infusible Ink box of transfer sheets, as well as a pack of pens and a compatible tote and t-shirt. So definitely go to my YouTube channel, watch a video, subscribe if you haven't already, and post a comment, and I'm going to be choosing winners from there. Okay, well, that's it for me this morning. Thank you for joining me. I'm really enjoying this morning chat time with you all, and I appreciate you tuning in. My name is Rita, and this is my channel, Miss Rita to the Rescue. I'm on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram and YouTube and all other places. So feel free to follow me any of those places. And thanks for stopping in today. We're going to talk to you real soon.